In 1828, the government put aside $5,000 to put the lighthouse up and made a port of entry. In 1829, it was finished. Soon after, in 1831, they found a burning spring just down the road from a couple miles down, where the Indians used to light this burning spring, and that's how they knew it was there by the lighthouse. A gentleman by the name of Hart from Fredonia decided to give it a shot and see if they could light the oil lamps up there with natural gas. And it worked great. And actually, it was the first municipal building in the United States to use natural gas and become gas-lit. It worked well, except for water would get in the pipes from time to time, and then they would have to relight it with oil. And it was a unique system in which we have no pictures of, unfortunately, but it was a tiered effect of lanterns with the mirrored lanterns behind it. And I guess it was just like they say it was just a huge fire up there, and you could see it from miles and miles away. And it is one of the oldest lighthouses on Lake Erie in its existing state. So everything you see there is the way they built it back then. The keeper's quarters are over 2 foot thick of stone, and the lighthouse actually starts with the field stone of 4 foot thick and goes up to a 2 foot thickness at the top, in which you go up 50 wooden stairs and then up a little ladder out the hatch. So it's not the faint of heart to get up in there, but it's a lot of fun once you're up there. The lighthouse is privately owned. It is very accessible though. It's right on Route 5. It's not something where you really have to go on the property. It's right there for you. And some of the greatest pictures in the world can come off that harbor looking at the lighthouse. Up until we bought it a couple years ago, it was in the same family for all those years. So for a 170-year-old girl, she's in good shape. And we're very fortunate to have the opportunity to experience it and to enjoy it.
When we walked in to look at this place, it was like magical. The house is just very warm, cozy. It just has a very special charm to it, and fell in love with it the minute we saw it.
Actually, Ann Malkin had loved lighthouses since she was little.
Well, I've always loved the lakes, being by the water, and I've always collected nautical items.
Here at Barcelona Light, on the shore of Lake Erie, near Buffalo, New York, Ann and her husband Bruce have a cozy spot to showcase their collection of nautical souvenirs.
When they built it, I think they did use every inch, because it's not a huge home. The government, when they put it in, they allotted $5,000 to build this back in 1829, which is a considerable sum. And the government basically said in the contract, it is to be built of good stuff. That's just the way it's written. And for 170 years old, I think they did a pretty good job.
Inside, the house is functional and homey, offering views of Lake Erie from every room. There was this later addition, the upstairs dormer, which made the bedrooms, small to begin with, a bit more livable. So far, though, Bruce and Ann haven't made any major changes to the property.
We don't want to change what we fell in love with.
When it was built in 1829, it was expected that the lighthouse would service a busy commercial port. Only the port never came to be.
With the advent of the railroads going through, the harbor was pretty much done. The railroad took all the commerce, which was very typical in our area. So it became a port for basically fishing. In fact, my grandfather was a fisherman, so this was his favorite port.
The home, like the lighthouse tower, is built of limestone and shale from the shores of Lake Erie. The joists that support the house are actual log timbers, and the exterior walls are reinforced with this metal buckle. Inside, the walls are over 2 feet thick, making the home both sound and soundproof.
When you think of lighthouses, you think of safe harbor, and it truly is a safe harbor. You hear very little outside, even though we are by a main thoroughfare, and we just feel so safe here and warm. It's just a remarkable home.
Remarkable also for the fact that when natural gas was first discovered not far from here, the Barcelona Light became the first and only lighthouse in the country to be lit by natural gas. It's still lit by gas, though it's no longer an aid to navigation. With all that history, it's no wonder that some suspect that Ann and Bruce aren't the only residents.
A lot of different people have lived here over the years, and I'm sure died here over the years. So I imagine there's a few ghosts in here. We've heard things at night, but you never know for sure. We've never talked to anyone.
The more books you read about it, the more you think, boy, I want one here. I'm almost jealous that there's not one and I haven't seen one.
Being right by the road, Bruce and Ann occasionally find lighthouse buffs and curiosity seekers in their driveway.
Many people think I'm the curator anyhow, so they'll tell me to please stand aside where they take their pictures.
Most of the time, though, you can find them on their spacious front porch, relaxing and enjoying the view. Though, no matter what they're doing, it's always a treat for them just to be here.
I really enjoy the gardening part of it. I'm learning a lot about the gardening, what a weed is and what a flower is. But I just enjoy coming up here and doing the daily maintenance. It is a true getaway, and I love fixing a cup of coffee in the morning and taking a walk on the harbor. And there's very little I don't enjoy here.
The home is furnished in an antique country style, from the sleigh couch to the unusual clock coffee table. But for Bruce and Ann, the furniture, like the home itself, is a work in progress, one they are thoroughly enjoying.
It's our way of saying it's special, and it makes us feel special.